Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this because today we're doing something incredibly fun and honestly deeply practical. We're gonna unpack a brilliant, totally realistic 2026 blueprint we found, and we're basically sketching it out like a classic stickman drawing on a blank notebook page. Our goal, to map out the exact journey from a single $100 bill all the way to 10 grand. It's simple, it's clear, and best of all, it cuts through all that confusing financial jargon. Look, it really doesn't matter where you got that initial $100. Maybe it was your paycheck, maybe you literally found it in an old pair of jeans. The real question the source material asks is, how do we engineer that money to actually grow? So let's start sketching.
Before we even touch a single dollar, we really need to talk about architecture. The source highlights a massive difference in how people operate. Let's call our first guy Stickman A. He's stuck in what's known as the poverty trap. Stickman A wakes up, rolls over, and literally donates the first 60 minutes of his day to billionaires. How? By doom scrolling, chasing cheap dopamine, and immediately checking notifications. He's totally reactive, hopping straight onto the hamster wheel. But then we have Stickman B. This guy is the architect. Stickman B operates in the wealth loop. He doesn't just work for money in that golden first hour. He's proactive. He's planting seeds and engineering systems so that eventually his money works for him. If your routine is reactive, you're basically a pawn in the game. But if it's proactive, you're drawing yourself as the architect.
So here's the master blueprint we're looking at today. First, escaping the poverty trap. Then, phase 1, the foundation. Phase 2, skill up. Phase 3, the multiplier. And phase 4, scale to 10K. Oh, and definitely stick with me for the end because we're going to expose a crucial skip step that literally causes 90% of beginners to fail.
Right off the bat, we need a massive mindset reset. Look, so many beginners blow their first $100 chasing these ridiculous overnight get-rich-quick TikTok fantasies. They're essentially walking their stickman right off a cliff. The actual data shows that going from $100 to $10,000 takes roughly 6 to 18 months of really smart, consistent moves. Think of it like a road trip, okay? The $100 is your gas, the strategy we're breaking down today is your GPS, and your patience, well, that's the car. You will absolutely get there, but you've got to respect the timeline.
All right, let's anchor our starting point, $100. Imagine you're holding it in your hand right now. Sure, it's not a ton of money, but guess what? It is enough leverage to kickstart the engine. Let's jump into phase 1. Phase 1, the foundation. The subtitle here is Protect and Multiply. According to the blueprint, your absolute only job right now is to safeguard and grow this initial cash.
So let's carefully split that $100 up. It's kind of boring, but man, is it effective. First, $40 goes straight into a high-yield savings account. In 2026, apps like Sophie, Marcus, or Ally are paying out around 4 to 5% annually. That means your money starts compounding literally immediately. Next up, $40 goes into learning. Listen, this is your most powerful investment. Go grab a $10 Udemy course on something like digital marketing or copywriting, and that last $20, use it to test just one micro side hustle. Maybe it's a Fiverr gig or flipping some thrift store finds on eBay. Honestly, it doesn't even matter which one you pick. What matters is that you're finally drawing the first lines of your system. By the end of phase 1, which usually takes about 4 to 8 weeks, boom, you hit your first major milestone, $500. Take a second and celebrate that. No, you're not rich yet, but you've successfully built the engine. Quick word of warning though, this next phase is where a lot of people slide right back down the mountain because the progress can feel a bit slow. Don't erase your hard work here. Moving right along to phase 2, skill up and cash in. The key here is developing one marketable skill, just one. This is where you hone that skill and land your very first paying client. Here's the 2026 skill menu that the data recommends. These are super hot, totally beginner-friendly options right now. You could dive into short-form video editing using CapCut and charge up to $300 a package. Or what about AI prompt consulting? Seriously, companies are paying real money to people who can help them use ChatGPT and Claude efficiently. Wild, right? There's also social media management, which is awesome for recurring monthly revenue, or copywriting, where you can easily charge $50 to $100 just to write an email that actually sells. But remember, the blueprint has a really strict rule for phase 2. Go deep, not wide. Pick just one skill from that menu. Step 1, spend 30 days learning the absolute heck out of it. Step 2, spend the next 30 days pitching it to land your first client on places like Upwork, LinkedIn, or hey, even Reddit. Step 3, earn your first $1,500 in service income. And just like that, combining your new service income with your foundational savings, we are officially planting the flag at $2,000. Our stickman is evolving, folks. We're drawing in some serious architectural upgrades for them now. Let's move into phase 3, the multiplier. Transition to passive income. Okay, things get incredibly interesting here because this is the exact moment we stop trading our hours directly for dollars and we start adding some serious leverage. We are going to build 4 brilliant new pipelines. First, unapologetically raise your rates by 30%. You have testimonials now, your skills are proven, you're worth it. Second, take $500 and invest it into a rock-solid S&P 500 index fund, like VOO or FXAIX. This is a super secure move. You're planting money that literally grows while you sleep. Third, package up your new knowledge into a digital product. Think an ebook or a cool Notion template, and sell it for $17 to $47 on Gumroad. Finally, automate. Spend $100 to hire a virtual assistant to handle all your basic, repetitive tasks. With all those pipelines flowing, you hit the halfway mark, $5,000. At this point, our stickman is fundamentally transformed. They aren't just a worker anymore. They're officially a true architect managing a real system. Which brings us to phase 4, scale to 10K, the final push. This phase requires a very specific set of systems that literally separate the people who plateau at $5,000 from the elite few who actually crush that $10,000 summit. Here's exactly how compounding systems work in this blueprint. Step 1, you have to niche down hard. Don't just be a generic video editor. Be the go-to video editor for real estate agents. Step 2, productize your service. Saying I charge $997 for 4 reels a month is infinitely easier to sell than, I'll work for $25 an hour. Step 3, build an audience by documenting your journey online. Let people watch you grow. And step 4, stack those income streams. Freelance, digital products, and investments, all flowing right into one big bucket. And there it is, the glorious $10,000 finish line. But let me be absolutely clear about something. Hitting this number is not luck. It is purely mathematically engineered structure. Okay, wait, let's pause the momentum completely for just a second. Imagine I'm drawing a massive red circle around this next thought. Because despite having this absolutely perfect blueprint, there's a huge question we have to answer. What is the single step that causes 90% of beginners to totally fail before they ever reach the top of the mountain? Here's the final secret. It's not a flashy app. It's not some secret algorithm hack. It is simply tracking. Meticulously tracking your resources. Every single dollar that comes in, every single dollar that goes out, every single hour you invest into learning and client outreach. This right here is where we see the final fate of our 2 characters. On one side, you have the 90%, like Stickman A, who are essentially flying blind. They feel incredibly busy. They're running in endless circles on that hamster wheel, but they have zero idea if they are actually moving forward. So, they get exhausted and they quit. On the other side, you have the focused elite who use a map. And by a map, I literally mean a totally free Google Sheet where they track their income, their expenses, and their net worth every single week. They actually see their progress. Because here is the core psychological truth that glues this entire wealth loop together. When you can see your progress, you keep going. When you can't, you quit. Visually tracking the blueprint is the only thing that keeps you in the game when your motivation inevitably fades. Okay, let's do a super quick recap of the 2026 journey we just sketched out. Split your initial $100 to save and test, master one single skill, land your clients, multiply your efforts with digital products and smart investments, then niche down to scale. And through it all, you meticulously track absolutely everything. Honestly, anyone can escape the hamster wheel using this exact framework. So you now hold the architect's blueprint in your hands. The map is officially drawn. But I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative question. Knowing all of this, knowing the stark difference between Stickman A and Stickman B, how are you going to spend the first 60 minutes of tomorrow morning? Are you going to reach for your phone and donate your focus right back to the dopamine trap? Or will you grab a blank page, start tracking, and draw your very first line towards your own $10,000? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you found it as fascinating as I did. See you next time.
Hey everyone, how are you? I'm fine. Um, I am new on YouTube. Please support me on YouTube. Subscribe my YouTube channel. I need your support. Thank you. Subscribe my YouTube.